Cool. So yes, my name's Nicholas, or you can call me Nick. I'm the HR manager for a Guildford-based social care charity called the Halow Project. So we provide support to young adults in the local Guildford area with learning disabilities and/or autism. And we've got a range of different programs that we do this through, which I'll talk about in a little presentation that I've got, and I'll talk about how those programs that we run are supported by our wonderful volunteers and how more volunteers can get involved. So I will attempt to share my screen. Let me just see if I can get this to work. Right. Is that showing up?
Yep.
Wonderful.
It's always a relief, isn't it?
Yeah, always good when the technology works. So yeah, as I said, I work as the HR manager within our HR team, and we're responsible for the recruitment and onboarding of our individual volunteers. So I'm normally one of the first people that get in touch when someone wants to inquire about volunteering with us. So a little bit about Halow Project. It all started with Harriet, Amber, Laura, Oliver and William. They were all young adults with learning disabilities who were the inspiration for our charity. And as you'll see, their initials actually spell out Halow. So that's where we got our name from. And it was back in 2006, all of their families came together because they were at a similar point in their lives where they'd kind of finished with mainstream education. They were thrust out into the wider world, expected to suddenly be able to cope with life as an adult, which is tricky enough as it is. You know, school doesn't always prepare everyone with all of the necessary skills that they need, but that's especially the case when adults have learning disabilities, and a lot of the things that we take for granted in our day-to-day lives can be a lot harder for them. I think this is one of the things that when I joined the charity, it was really eye-opening to me to think about all of the things that I take for granted in my day-to-day life that to me are just kind of normal and easy, even down to coming to work and being able to drive myself to work and go throughout my day independently. Young adults with learning disabilities are not always able to live as independently, and they're not always as equipped with the skills that they need to be able to live independently. So our mission is to provide those young adults with the same life choices and chances as any other young person. We do this in a person-centered approach, which is where we work with the young adults and we identify what is it that they want to achieve, what do they want to do. Is it, you know, they want to go out and work in a local cafe, or is it they want to travel up to London independently? And what are the challenges they find with that, and we work with them to identify those sort of barriers and how we can overcome them. And some of the results that we've seen are valuable beyond any paycheck could be. Being able to see the difference that we've made on their lives is just fantastic, and that goes for everyone in our organization, even the ones that aren't working, you know, kind of directly with the young adults. We all play a part in what we do, and we're all respectful and ambitious for those people that we support. So we've got some main programs that we do this across, and I'll just give you a quick little flyby tour of the different departments. So starting with what's called Building Futures, this is our kind of follow-on step from mainstream education. So generally when the young adults are joining Building Futures, they're in what's called the transition phase. So they're coming out of mainstream education and they're looking to work on those life skills that mainstream education hasn't taught them. So this often involves things like relationships training, healthy living, travel training. They do some work experience, and this generally operates across kind of 3 loose developmental years so that we can tailor it based on what their needs are. Some of them can skip years, some of them can repeat years, and it's all community based, so that they're out there in the community using those skills that they're working on. We also have what's called a reason to get up, which is meaningful daytime activities across the local area. This gives them activities that they're interested in and they're useful towards their life, but it's on a little bit more of a relaxed sort of basis than building futures. It's not as structured, but it's still about, what are they achieving through that activity and what's the outcome of it. So the kind of main things that they work on include things like fitness, IT skills, cooking, gardening, arts and crafts, and we see some fantastic results from them from these activities. We also run social activities, which are designed to give the young adults a chance to let their hair down, socialise with their friends, put some of those life skills into use in a supported environment, so that there is always support there if they do need it. But this is a lot more relaxed and informal than the more formalized programs. It's not about necessarily achieving outcomes, it's just about having fun and seeing their friends. And so they often do things like bowling trips are one of the big ones. They do theatre trips, theme park trips, whole loads of different stuff depending on what it is that they want to be doing. And then we also have what's called our care service. So through this, we run supported living houses in the local area. And then we also have what's called our independent support program, which is one-to-one community support, where they set goals and work on achieving those goals in a far more individualized manner. These two departments are more regulated, so they don't tend to utilize volunteers as often, but they do often come into contact with the volunteers through the other programs. So it may be that the supported living adults are attending one of the social activities, for instance. And then we also have fundraising activities. So everything that we do is only possible because of the funding that we receive. So some of the funding that we get is through things like local councils and SEND, depending on what program it is that the young adult is attending. But we are still relying on fundraising outside of that as well. So we work with different corporate contacts, legacy trusts, the local community to run a whole range of different activities. They recently ran a go-karting day. They've got a golf day coming up. There's a whole range of different things. Some of them are with the young adults, some of them are separate to them. Just depends on what the activity is and kind of how they're fundraising through it. And they also do things like challenge events, things like that as well. And then all of that is supported by our business support team. So that includes my team in HR, we've got the finance team, we've got administration officers in the office as well. And we provide that back office support, making sure that, all the bills are getting paid. We've got fully staffed workforce, we're getting new volunteers in, kind of everything that allows our frontline workers to deliver the fantastic work that they are able to deliver on the programs. So our volunteers are really valuable to us. They allow us essentially extra pairs of hands, eyes and ears, but also some amazing skills and experience and insight that they're able to bring to our activities and our different events. And it's a great way for people from different walks of lives to be able to help support some really vulnerable people and take part in helping them achieve those fantastic outcomes that we're able to achieve with them. We normally have multiple volunteering opportunities every week across our different activities. So some of them run weekly or bi-weekly, whereas some of them are more ad hoc, such as seasonal trips. They often do panto shows in December, for instance. Most of them take place during the week, with some of them happening during the day and some of them happening in the evening. And we do also occasionally have weekend activities too. So this means that we've got a whole range of different activities that are available that can suit a wide range of different availabilities. We don't have a minimum commitment that we require from our volunteers. We're totally flexible for them to sign up to our constantly updating online calendar for whatever they're able to help support. So if there's weeks that they haven't got any availability, that's totally fine by us. We just really appreciate whatever support they are able to give to us. There are some activities that we run that like having volunteers as frequently as they're able to do, particularly with Building Futures, where it's the same groups that are working throughout that year. They like to have kind of volunteers as consistently as possible. So we've got stuff available for people who want to volunteer really frequently, or we've got stuff that is available for people who only want to do the odd bit every now and again, or it may even be just a one-off volunteering. We're totally flexible and totally happy to have whatever support people are able to give. So this is just an example of what our weeks often look like. So we'll see here it's split across a reason to get up and social activities mainly on our calendar. We do have the Building Futures, as I said, throughout the week as well. And our fundraising events, they tend to be more ad hoc, whereas things like Cook and Grow and Crafty Creations, they're kind of our more frequent recurring activities. And as I said, we have an online calendar where the different departments can publish their different activities and all of the information on them, so that volunteers can just look at that live calendar. If they think, oh, I've got next Tuesday free, I'd like to help out on something, then they can just load up the calendar, see what's on that day and sign up for it and get all of that information through there. So just a few frequently asked questions. Our travel expenses cover for volunteers. We reimburse reasonable travel expenses for our volunteers. Obviously, we don't want anyone to be out of pocket for supporting us, but there is also sometimes group travel plans, such as if they're taking a trip on a coach, where we will ask volunteers to meet with us and then they can get the coach with us, and that's all planned by us, so they don't need to worry about booking seats on the coach or anything like that. As long as we know that they're coming, we can get that all sorted for them. Where do our volunteering opportunities take place? So we're primarily placed across the local Guildford area. As I said, it's very important that we are out in the community and we're giving the young adults a chance to really use those life skills that they work on and interact and be part of their local community. So it'd be no good if we were running everything in the middle of nowhere where they don't get to interact with anyone. So we use a lot of community venues as well as our offices, which are here in the heart of Guildford Town Centre. We're just a stone's throw away from you at Voluntary Action. Do we offer office-based volunteering? Yes, we do. Sometimes there'll be specified days that any of our volunteers can sign up to help on. So this might be if we're looking for a group to come in and help paint the office on a particular day, things like that. But if someone is specifically looking for office-based volunteering, so we often get requests for people looking to help with admin and data duties. We like to use those kind of skills and experience where we're able to, but it's important that we organise that with the volunteer, so that we can make sure there is some defined work or projects available for them to help on, and really make sure that we're maximising the use of everybody's time. We also offer corporate volunteering, though this is normally arranged directly through our corporate and community partnerships officer rather than our online calendar, as they often tend to be kind of in larger groups or wanting specific dates. And we also recognise that corporate relationships often can be so much more than just volunteering, whereas, as I said, it tends to be my team deal more with the individual volunteers, which includes one-offs as well. Do I need to have experience to volunteer? Not at all, just a desire to help a great cause. You know, a lot of our volunteers have never helped in the social care sector, never worked in the sector or anything like that before. They just really want to get involved and help out and make a difference in the lives of the people that we support. However, if someone does have particular experience or skills that might align with one of our activities, then we'd love to utilise them. One of the great examples we've got is one of our volunteers who comes along to our gardening sessions. She's got her own fantastic allotments as well. She's won Guildford in Bloom awards for those allotments, so it was a match made in heaven having her come along and help out with our gardening sessions as well and our allotments. So we love when there are opportunities to pair people with relevant activities, but that is by no means a requirement. And finally, do I need a DBS check? No. So there is requirements on how frequently you volunteer with us. and what it is that you're doing through the volunteering. So being involved with the activities, actually supporting the young adults, as opposed to, say, just helping in the office, stuff like that. There are requirements that we need to meet in order to do a DBS check for you. But if you do meet those requirements, then we would do the DBS check for you, and it'd be at no cost to yourself. If you're interested in getting involved, you can register your interest with Voluntary Action, and one of our team will get in touch with you as soon as we can to get the ball rolling. And if you've got any questions or want any more information, you can get in touch with us on that email address, or you can give us a call, or you can just visit our website, halowproject.org.uk.